Welcome to Parlay TV.
Plenty of things look easy at first. Skydiving, lion taming. From the comfort of your armchair, all sorts of risks look easy as
Cristiano Ronaldo, Diogo Jota, and Bruno Fernandes literally
blew Russia off the park in a clinical display of attacking football.
Wow.
Sorry, what did you say, Kobe?
Wow, bro.
Let's break it down.
I am Pat Mayo, and I'm here to give you the best pick at the top of the board, the best bet, if you will.
So I'm going to go with just under 25 for Middleton here.
Welcome back, everybody, to 3 Point Lines here on the Parlay. I'm your host, Luca Rosano, alongside my co-host, Noor Zainab, and we are back ready to make our picks for this Tuesday evening, coming into tonight's slate of games. I'm at 54%. I went 4 of 7 last night. As for Noor, how did you do last night?
Like 2 of 7, maybe? I'm at a 51%. What's going on, Luca? Honestly, if you want your bets and if you want to make some really nice basement dwelling money, listen to Luca. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to all these low tier teams. And that's honestly where I got hit the hardest last night.
Yeah, that Raptors game was rough for you, I got to say. -4, they ended up winning by, 30-plus points? That was the bet of the night. So we'll see if Noor is going with the Raptors tonight or not. Before we get into that game, though, we're actually going to start with another basement dwelling game, and that is the Pistons taking on the Wizards as the Wizards open up as 3.5-point favorites.
Are the Pistons the basement dwellers right now, though? Because I don't know what's in the water, but they have been on a roll recently. Their last 3 wins came against teams like the Cavs, the Celtics, and the Hornets. So they're beating really good Eastern Conference teams right now. And while the Pistons have won 3 of their last 4 games, the Wizards have actually lost 3 of their last 4. They've given up defensively. They're allowing other teams to score more than 117 points per game, and they're going against a Pistons team that's beating playoff teams. So it's not really an easy task tonight for them to have this spread right now and this favored right now. It still is just Kuz and Caldwell Pope doing everything. And while the Pistons do have help in Corey Joseph, Sadiq Bey, Jeremiah Grant, and Marvin Bagley Jr. off the bench. So their solid play as of recent has really impressed me, especially being able to make scoring opportunities off of offensive board. So I'm going to go with the Pistons here. How about you?
Yeah, I like the Pistons too. They've been beating some playoff/play-in teams, like you mentioned. They upset the Cavaliers, the Hornets in 2 of their last 3 games. And this Wizards team has struggled a lot in their last 15 games. So you look at Washington too, they're just 7-9 against the spread as a home favorite this season. And the Pistons, they have been playing some good basketball. I don't know what is in the water, and I don't know what they said during that All-Star break, but this is not a team that you want to play right now. And I think they will get it done. We're getting points. So, yeah, take the Pistons plus 3.5.
Well, you heard it here first. We're hopping on the Kate train, but sticking to the Eastern Conference tonight, we've got the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Boston Celtics, where the Celtics are favored by -6.5. Are you going to ride with the enemies, Luca?
Yeah, this looks to be the game of the night, or one of the games of the night. I was going back and forth on this game for a little bit, and I'm actually going to go with the Hawks and take the points. For as good as the Celtics have been, I think the Hawks will show up in this spot. The Hawks, they seem like that team that is ready to go on a bit of a run. They had that nice win against Toronto. They're getting guys back like Hunter, Clint Capella. And Trae Young, he is playing at an all-time high level right now. I know you look at the Celtics, they got Marcus Smart, Derek White, some very key defenders who could potentially slow down Young. But are you going to stop Young? I don't think so. I think this Atlanta team can get a lot of their offense going. And this is a team that's also been pretty good defensively over their last couple of games. So I think this is going to be a very good battle, back and forth affair. I still do think the Celtics win, but 6.5, I'm going to take the points, thinking that this game goes down to the wire. So give me Atlanta on the road here against the surging Celtics.
Anytime we start off with a disagreement now, I know I'm going to lose that one. It's not going to end well for me, but I'm going to stick this one out anyway, thanks to my character. But for this team tonight, you mentioned it, it's probably going to be one of the better games of the night. You've got two teams who are trending in the right direction lately, but Boston, in my opinion, I think has been on this path longer than the Hawks have. In their last 14 games that Boston has won, each win has happened with more than 6 points. And they're also 20 of 11 at home this season, while the Hawks are 1 of 11 against the spread in their last 12 road games, and also against teams with winning home percentage over 600. Now, the Celtics did lose to the Pacers in really horrible fashion, but Trae Young will also be a force to be reckoned with tonight. You mentioned it yourself, but Boston's team defense is 9th in the league for a reason. They're a really good defensive team, and they're really great at getting stops. And that should make life difficult for Trae and anyone else who wants to have a shot tonight. And Hawks will still be without John Collins, and now they also won't have Lou Williams. So they're already down offensive weapons against a good Boston team that can also defend really, really well. I don't really want to, but I think I'm going to let the Celtics win this one.
Wow. All right. So Noor is siding with the enemy for that one. Let's see, though, if she's going to do the same thing she did last night or change her mind. And I'm talking about the next game here. We got a rematch of last night. It is the home and home. The Raptors are back at Scotiabank Arena. The crowd is going to be rocking. They're back in capacity. Raptors, though, big number here, Noor. 8.5-point favorites. Are you riding that, or are you going with the Nets again?
I think if I don't ride with it tonight, I might have to be kicked out of Toronto. There's no one's going to want to have me in the city anymore. And last night was insane. It was nuts. You got to see Scotty and Malachi in prime form. And that was one of my biggest debacles, I think, with Nick Nurse, where it was like, yes, you want to have the right players on the court at the right time. But if you're not giving these young guys their reps, how are they supposed to develop into anything? And him not being able to give Malachi those reps because he hadn't been playing at all the past couple of months, but for him to come out to start to actually have a night for himself against a really good Nets team, I think that can only bode well for his confidence, right? The question for tonight is, do we think the bench can produce that again? And Fred is still day-to-day while OG is still out, but the Raptors showed that even despite that and giving Pascal and Gary Trent a night off on the floor, the bench killed it. Typically, after a big win, the Raptors tend to ride the momentum, and that's why I think they've been able to go on streaks in the past more than a couple other teams. And you mentioned it, they'll be at home for this one. They're going to have the fans back for this one game, finally, and this should only add incentives to another win tonight. So I'm going to be a homer. I think I saw magic yesterday and some wizardry, and the Raptors should make this even more magical tonight with the fans back. So give me the Raptors. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. The Raptors, they were phenomenal last night, and Pascal Siakam didn't even play well. So imagine if they do get production from him, how are they going to look? They don't need Fred in this one. They're not going to have OG, and they're still going to, I think, easily beat a Nets team that their offense looks like a mess right now without their superstars. This is a Brooklyn team. We're all talking about when is the Ben Simmons, the KDs, the Kyries all going to be back together. I mean, time's ticking. The season is winding down, and the Nets are trying to get out of that 8 spot. And if the Raptors can get another big win here, they can separate themselves even more between themselves and the Nets. And I think this is another must win for the Raptors. You're going to be at home. You're going to have the crowd rocking. You're going to be the favorites, and you should be able to do what you did last night and then some. So yeah, look for a big night from Scotty Barnes, Malachi Flynn. And it was great to see what those two in particular did, given their minutes, and especially Malachi Flynn. He started in place of Fred VanVleet, and it was great to see Flynn have himself a great game. The bench stepped up, like you said, as well. So I can't see the Raptors falling off in this spot. I mean, Brooklyn, I think it will be closer tonight. I don't think it's going to be a 30-point blowout, but I could see the Raptors pulling away late. So yeah, I know it's a big spread, probably for many, but I'll lay the points here with the Raptors. I think Siakam's going to have a much better game too. So yeah, I think they find a way to cover the number.
Yeah, you said it all for me. Now let's move on to the Western Conference, where we've got the Golden State Warriors taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, where the Warriors are favored by -1.5.
Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting game. The Warriors they've fallen back a little bit lately. They're 1-7-1 against the spread in their last 9, and what? They blew a 19-point lead with 10 minutes left against the Mavericks. That was a horrible collapse. And this is a team that could find themselves in third place with the way that the Memphis Grizzlies are surging just behind them. but I am going to back the Warriors here. Why? Because the Timberwolves have not been a good back-to-back team. This is a team that they've shown that. They came off of a nice win, and when they did beat the surging Grizzlies, and then they got blown out by the Sixers on Friday. I just think this is going to be a situation where the Warriors are going to get Minnesota on that second of a back-to-back, which has not been good timing for them, and they will be able to take advantage of that. So I know the Warriors have been struggling lately, but I think they're going to step up to the occasion, knowing that this is a big game with the Grizzlies right on their tail. Expect Stephen Curry and company to come away with the win, and I don't think there'll be another collapse like there was last game. So give me the Dubs.
Yeah, I think that the spread makes this pretty easy too, because now you don't really have to think about who's going to win by how much. It's pretty much just who's going to come out and win this game. And you mentioned it, Clay and Iggy are already listed as out for tonight's game, which is why the spread is probably so close for this one. And Minnesota, you said it too, are on a back-to-back here after beating Cleveland last night. But they will be playing at home for this one. So while they are traveling back at home, at least it's not to a different city for the night, I guess. There's some kind of factor in there for me. I don't know. But when you pair anyone with Curry, you're giving yourself a chance as a team. With Wiggins, Looney, Kuminga, and Poole, Warriors can make this a game. But I kind of like where the Wolves are coming from. They've been trending in the right direction. And most importantly, they've got Cat, Anthony Edwards, and Russell all healthy right now. That might be too much of a task for Warriors, who saw the short-handed Cavs take an L against the Wolves last night. So I'm going to take the Wolves, actually. We're going to disagree on this one.
Nice. Yeah, you know what? I was leaning on the Wolves for a little while, and I just went back to the notion that, I mean, how many times can you bet against the Warriors? So we'll see who's right in that one. It's going to be a great matchup, one of many great matchups tonight. And we are going to move on now to the Clippers taking on the Rockets. And the Clippers, they have been looking really good without their superstars. They're laying a touchdown here. Are you going to take them?
This is the only LA team I recognize. I don't know about you, but one team here is trying to make the playoffs while the other is riding the basement, hoping for another draft pick. Surprised the spread is as close as it is for a Rockets team who's pretty much given up on the season. Clippers have time and time again, you said it yourself, proved to be a force despite injuries and COVID. So at this point, the question is, will they win this game by 8? That's pretty much what I'm thinking right now. And honestly, I think so. I think we're seeing a lot more blowouts and big margin of wins happening lately in the NBA as a whole to begin with, which pretty much means that teams are getting ready for that push in the playoffs. And Clippers are one of them. They're just waiting to insert back PG and Kawhi into the lineup, and they probably will be the team of the West at that point, in my opinion. So I think this is a decent spread here, but the Clippers should be able to cover it no problem. How about you?
Yeah, I agree with you. The Rockets are 7-16 against the spread as an underdog at home, and the team's got a league worst defense. They're allowing 99 points since Sunday's loss. And yeah, the Clippers, they don't have a great offense, but this is a team that they can hold their own, and we've seen that before. And this is just such a scrappy Clippers team that is quickly becoming one of my favorite teams to watch. I mean, look at what they're doing without superstars. Ty Lue's got everybody playing hard on the squad. And the Clippers, they've had some nice wins through their resume lately. So I think they're going to keep it going here. They're looking up in the standings. They're in the thick of things. And they know that Paul George is on his way back soon. Who knows what's going to happen with Kawhi? This is a very dark horse team, if you will, sleeper pick, if you will, in the West, if they can get healthy at the right time. As far as tonight goes, the Clippers usually take advantage against teams that they should beat. So yeah, I will lay the touchdown here. Give me the Clippers -7. They'll find a way to get it done against the Rockets.
Speaking of teams that are giving up right now, we've got the Lakers taking on the Mavericks tonight, where the Mavericks are favored by -5.5. Luca, who are you riding with?
DJ Augustine's going to be the savior, right? For the Lakers. The Lakers just picked him up last night as they waived, who was it, Jordan? So, yeah, the Lakers are a mess right now. I don't think anybody can save this season. Anthony Davis is still weeks away. LeBron James is actually questionable for tonight. So if he doesn't play, then I really like the Mavericks. But even if he does play, I'm going with the Mavericks, -5.5. The Mavericks are another fun team to watch in the West. They have turned their season around. They're coming off a nice win against the Warriors, comeback win. And the Lakers, they just flat out stink. They're 26-33-1 against the spread and just 13-20 at home. And they got booed their last time out. And I'm very interested to see what their reception is going to be in this game. Something tells me they'll be getting booed again after the Mavericks are done with them. So give me Luca Doncic, who's been playing like an MVP candidate lately, and give me this Dallas Mavericks defense and this offense to absolutely have their way with the Lakers in LA. Give me the
On
Mavs.
one hand, you've got an LA team that's keeping it afloat and making the playoffs without their stars. And on the other, you've got one that can't even get into the play-in spot with their stars in there. And their stars include LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook. So it's just insane to me. Not sure what's happening with the Lakers, but I think at this point, it's safe to say if any team's going up against them, pretty good bet to go against the other team. It's pretty good to lay the points against the Lakers here. And yeah, they've won one game in their last 6, and they're trying to get out of a losing skid against this really good Mavericks team. That's not going to be smart. Dallas has been absolutely impressive since the Dinwiddie and Kristaps swaps, to everyone's surprise. No one saw that coming, and since then they've only pretty much been progressing. When you have a guy like Luca who isn't afraid of anything, not even going up against the biggest team in the league, who has the best player in the world angry as hell right now, he'll go in there, he will play the Luca way, and he will get his team a big win. So I think Dallas is a team to ride with here, so give me Mavericks.
Yeah, it's hard to bet against them right now, or I should say it's hard to bet on the Lakers given their recent struggles. So yeah, we'll see what happens tonight. Only a couple games in the NBA, but as mentioned, we got a couple good ones, a couple notable games to look out for: Hawks, Celtics, Warriors, Timberwolves, and then Mavericks, Lakers. I mean, for as bad as the Lakers have been, it is always entertaining to watch their games just to see what's going to happen. So those are the games of the night. We'll see how our picks do. Let us know who you like in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Noor? Who do you think is going to win tonight's head-to-head? As we will be battling it out all season long to see who has the best record by season's end. We are picking NBA games against the spread every single day, Monday through Friday. This is 3-point lines here on the parlay. Myself, Luca, Rosano, and Noor, Zainab signing off. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you all again tomorrow.